With the contemporary literacies, we are exploring digital literacy, media literacy, global literacy. And when we work through that, we end up talking about professional networks. We start thinking about how are we maintaining, nurturing, and curating our own professional learning networks. Well, in our experience, it's been helpful to think about tiers of networking. So let's talk about the 3 tiers of networking and then think about how they can apply to our own professional learning. Tier 1 in a networking experience is when I have one individual networking with the global. So it's a point-to-point for an individual to be networking using the internet, face-to-face, physical, virtual connections. So think about me in my office trying to learn more about differentiated instruction. So I might go to Twitter and say, @Carol Tomlinson, do you have ideas for grouping for me? So here I am reaching out to the network to get information to bring back. That's Tier 1 networking. Tier 2 networking is where I have an organization, but I can't change the structures of my organization like schedule or physical space enough to get all the members of my organization into conversations as much as I would like. Picture a school with a high school, a middle school, and an elementary school in different physical locations, trying to have PLCs that are vertical. How would you do that? Especially if their schedules don't work. Let's say that the high school starts earlier and the elementary school starts later. And so even with the busing and the timing, if we were to try and do an after-school meeting, half of our group might be out of contract by then. So what do? Well, we can do Tier 2 networking. Tier 2 networking is focused within an organization. We can say everyone who teaches social studies K-12, this is your Google Doc, or this is your wiki, or this is your website where we're going to connect and we're going to have an active conversation about these 3 questions. So this site will be up for 2 months. You have 2 months to think about, process, speak, and then contribute in this website. And then we're going to pull the information and a decision is going to be made. But we want your voice heard, so make sure that you're in this space during this time. That's Tier 2 networking. It's a way for us to connect groups or individuals within an organization, even if I can't get them in the same physical space. Tier 3 networking is a little bit different. It's almost a combination of Tier 1 and Tier 2. So picture where I might have a school organization, elementary, middle, and high. And I have an organized group in that organization. So let's say I have my 5th grade team. And my 5th grade team has a lot of questions about doing math journals in their classrooms. They don't really have anyone else that they can talk to about it, or that's how they feel. And so we say, you know what, 5th grade team, you as a group, we want you to network with these other 5th grade teams in completely different regions or schools or countries. We want you to start conversations about math journals, what works and what doesn't. So they have organized Skypes. They have organized contributions where they might be attending a Twitter conversation and hosting them or facilitating them as a group. These kinds of behaviors as a group, but yet networking globally, would constitute Tier 3 networking opportunities. When we think about what we can do, Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3, we can stretch. We can include people who might not feel confident at Tier 1 networking, which is where they're curating it alone. But if you team them up as a part of a Tier 3 opportunity, they thrive and they can see what's modeled for them and they can build and continue to grow their own skill set. Or maybe a group doesn't feel like that's right for them, but Tier 2 networking, where their voice and their contributions to what is happening within the organization can be increased. Many people get frustrated when they feel like they have to attend every single meeting. Maybe they can't do that. But if we were able to broaden the time span of that meeting to something like a month or 2 months, they could easily find the time. And so that kind of respect to the need for their voice in more conversations than the meetings that they could attend can really make people feel connected to an organization. Consider these tiers as you continue to promote networking in your organization.